Those in Sydney sandstone soils can be very dry and flammable, so spot fires are always a concern. Spot fires can cause the main fire to spread even faster as the flame front is sucked forward to meet the new, smaller fires. Dad explained to me how fires draw in oxygen at the base and how very big fires create their own weather. He told me about the heat wave and massive fires of January 1939, when he had seen a smoke column high above a massive bushfire turn into a storm cloud and then heard thunder as lightning flashed out and started new fires miles away. Today we call this a pyrocumulonimbus cloud, or a fire-generated storm, an extreme event that until recently was quite rare and, back in 1971, almost unheard of. As I looked at the thickening smoke column, even at 12 years old, I could imagine all of the dynamics fueling the fire, and that it would probably become bigger and even more ferocious as the day warmed, dried, and the wind strengthened. My brother Terry, a talented competitive cyclist, was away on a long-distance road race. But my sisters, Kim and Robin, joined me out the front, gazing at the smoke with trepidation. We knew that fires could spread very quickly, and the tension in the air was palpable as we looked at the tinder-dry bush surrounding our house. Everybody in the area was on edge, a familiar feeling during the fire season for anyone who lives in the bush. The phone rang late in the morning, and Mum called out to Dad. It was Terry's best friend, Jeff Carr. He and his teenage sister, Jenny, were at home alone, their parents away for a couple of days. Jeff could see the huge column of smoke and didn't know what to do. They lived in the last house on Bibbenluke Avenue, a small acreage on the western edge of Duffy's Forest, adjoining Ku-ring-gai Chase National Park. The house was surrounded by bush at the top of a steep, wooded slope facing west. It would be the first property to be impacted if the fire jumped Cowan Creek. Dad made another phone call, and I remember him looking concerned. He'd found out that the backburn at North Turramurra had escaped, and the fire was expected to jump the creek soon. Local fire trucks were making their slow way back to Duffy's Forest, but it would be at least an hour or more before they arrived. Jeff and Jenny were in the direct path of the flames and needed urgent help. Dad hurried out to our garage and started loading tools into the first new car we had ever owned, a Hillman Hunter station wagon. A rake, a hoe, a shovel, an axe, some old sacks, and a couple of metal watering cans. He put on an old pair of khaki overalls and heavy boots, and grabbed his ever-present broad-brimmed felt hat. Then he looked over at me. "Well, hurry up," he said. "You'd better get dressed." I didn't need any further encouragement. I could see that Mum wasn't impressed, but also that she wasn't going to stop me. I quickly put on long cotton pants, a long-sleeved shirt, and my heavy walking boots. Dad handed me an old cotton broad-brimmed hat and a pair of heavy gardening gloves. I had some experience helping with small hazard reduction burns in our backyard and down the road on my mate Phil Bush's property, so I already knew some of the basics. It was about a 10-minute drive to Jeff's house, but as we neared the boundary between Terry Hills and Duffy's Forest, we saw a small line of stationary vehicles, a police car parked across the road with its single blue light flashing, and a police officer gesturing for everybody to turn around. Dad drove up to the roadblock as everyone else went the other way. The officer waved dismissively at us to go back the way we'd come. We were now much closer to the fire, and I could see the huge brown, black, and white smoke columns twisting and boiling into the sky. The smell of smoke now very strong. It made sense that the road was being closed.